Happy Easter to everyone. Welcome back to another video in the Lion's Den with yours truly, Lionable Trades. Here, wishing you all a happy Easter. Blessings, positive vibes. And hopefully everyone has had a great Easter weekend. And just to give you a quick review of the markets, including futures, what's happening to the dollar index, crypto, and commodities. So we'll just start right off the bat, which would be the SPY futures, what actually ended up gapping down as soon as futures opened up. So it was at the level of 5,326. And it dropped. It actually dropped all the way down to 5,279. And it's still flat. It did attempt to recover and try to somehow retreat back to this supposed gap, which it left around this range. And just right on the 200 EMA at 5,315, but it did fail and rejected and pulled back to then reach a low of 5,273. And so that is what she wrote. At the same time, crypto is booming. So that's something that we don't usually see every day, but somehow at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, there has been some activity, some volume activity on Bitcoin, especially throughout the hours here. About 2 hours ago, that massive volume started pouring into Bitcoin and crypto in general, because Bitcoin does represent the entire crypto market, in my opinion. So if it rises, then all the rest of crypto rises with it too as well. As you can see on the list on the right side, everything is green, well, except for Clover, slightly red. And that's about it on this list, including XRP. So when you click on XRP, it's pretty much running on the same algo as Bitcoin and crypto in general. That also includes your Trump coin. If you guys are still playing Trump, dog with a hat, even though there is a heavy pullback there, so it's a lot more volatile than the rest of the coins. And you have Shiba, which is maintaining that same algorithm as Bitcoin. And you have Doge, right? So Doge is at 16 cents. There goes Doge dancing right in the right corner. And it was at 15.5 cents at the low, and now it's above 16 cents. All right, so let's just to show you real quick. The dollar index continues to drop. The dollar, ladies and gentlemen, is losing value. And there's a couple of things to be concerned of when it comes to the situation. All right. Okay. I thank you for that suggestion. I don't need to see that. So had a little quick conversation with ChatGPT, right? Because just like everybody else, I'm here learning as well about the market and what certain things mean. So we've been in this situation before many times during certain events, geopolitical and whatnot. What happens when the dollar index drops in value, especially when it drops below 100. And we can see here the last time that happened. All right, that was back in the times of the where we see here on March where the dollar index was at around 103, 102. Then when everything started happening, everything started shutting down, the dollar index started declining at a fast rate and reached at a low of 89.20. Again, currently it's at 98.31. Then the next, before that, we had this housing market situation, or I don't know what happened exactly around 2018. I wasn't in the market at that time, but you can see that the dollar index around that time was at 88, 89. And then right before that, you had the 2008 crisis, or the market crash, where it brought the dollar index all the way to a low of 70.69, and that was from a high up here at 92. And the highest at the dollar index was ever recorded was 121.02, and that was back in July 2nd of the week of July 2nd, 2001. And that was a couple of months before, that one tragedy that struck America and changed America forever. So you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, fast forward to today, and now we have the situation on the weekly chart, which definitely looks ugly. And it looks like, and it could be that if history does repeat itself, and if there is a situation that's happening, and you already know that there's tariffs involved, but then there's a lot of other geopolitical tensions going on. China, Ukraine, Russia. There's a lot of things building up right now, and it's getting really tense. So, not only that, but we do have the situation here with the U.S. economy. Things are getting weaker. Inflation's going up. We might as well be in a depression. But I would like to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. And just to read you really quick the implications for markets. So again, do your own research. This is for educational and research purposes, and it's not financial advice. So as I'm reading here, all right, this is the general interpretation of the US dollar being weaker. And so the dollar has lost value relative to a basket of major currencies. As you know, the euro, the yen, the pound, the Canadian dollar, the krona, the franc. So then there could be a potential shift in sentiment. So this could be a result of market expectations that the Federal Reserve may pause or cut rates, or it could be due to economic weakness in the U.S. Then it says here, increased risk appetite. So investors might be rotating out of the dollar into riskier assets. Now, those could include things like small cap stocks, or those particular stocks that a lot of people have as their favorite, and therefore you have GME, you have AMC, you have DJT, and you have stocks like Plug, you have Lucid, which I think is also part of that basket. As you can see, where it came from after a couple of years being close to, if not almost $65 back in 2021, and heavily shorted tremendously all the way to as low as $1.03 before coming back up to, was it $1.03? Could be wrong. No, actually 193. Excuse me. 193 was the all-time low for Lucid. And that is what we're looking at on the weekly, which also looks like it could be doing a double bottom and recovering week by week. I think something is definitely showing where there is a nice bullish divergence on the long term, right? So just in a quick example, right? Again, do your research. But it looks like Lucid is at that point where there's a lot of accumulation going on, and a lot of people are looking at this with a bullish sentiment. But as I'm continuing here, all right, we have commodities. So we have a push in gold, which it did happen again. So when the dollar falls, it could be bullish for gold and silver. This is the 5-minute chart on gold. And once again, gold hitting a new all-time high of at $3,382.53. Here's the daily chart for gold. As you can see, what a trend it has been doing for the past couple of years, especially this past year, 2024 into this year, and now it's growing ever more and increasing, making new highs. Silver, which does look a little different, stagnant, a bit flat, a bit suppressed in my opinion, but there's definitely something brewing for silver. So I'm keeping a close eye on that, in my opinion. Then you have oil. So oil is a bit on a limbo. So it's not going crazy. It has gone through its swings. It is down below the 200 EMA on a daily, but it is giving a bullish MACD signal, and it is trying to recover. Do we know if oil is going to stay down based on Trump wanting to, unlock those oil reserves and drill baby drill, or if there is tensions looming ahead with all the tariffs and other countries deciding to, move away from the dollar and negotiate with other countries dealing with oil. And so, who knows what could happen. That's just my guess on that. And so, what are the other causes for this decline in the US dollar? Well, here are some of the other possibilities. We can have a Fed dovish pivot, which includes rate cuts, and quantitative easing hints, recession signals in the U.S. economic data, which includes GDP slowdown and higher unemployment, fiscal concerns, which includes debt ceiling standoffs and rising deficit worries. And then, this is just speculation here, but we also do have geopolitical confidence shifting to other blocs. For example, the BRICS expansion, the de-dollarization efforts. Like I just mentioned, a lot more countries moving away from the dollar and dropping the dollar and moving more into a asset-backed currency to peg to, just like gold, silver, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's just a breakdown there. And that's about it for now. So I just wanted to have you guys take a look at this, which looks actually pretty bullish here on the daily for Bitcoin, as it just broke over the 200 EMA. So could this actually be a sign for more upside? That could be. And if it breaks over 90,000, yeah, something is definitely shifting. And if the SPY futures goes the opposite direction and starts to pull back down, as you can see, it's way under the 200 EMA. And if it actually continues breaking down, making new lows and breaking back down below 5,000, then that is going to be trouble for the markets in general, the stock market. And then we're going to have to find out what happens after. So, but yeah, anyways, that is my take on it. All right. Yeah, so keep in mind of those things. If the dollar index does fall even further below and at a faster rate, we could be looking at those situations, and it could be dire. It could be very serious. And yeah, so brace yourselves. Be prepared. I already gave you the information, but again, do your own research and just know that this was just for educational and research purposes, not financial advice. You know what to do. So, much love to everybody. If you enjoyed this information, and if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Show some love, like this video, and I will be streaming tomorrow morning, and I'll see you there, and we can chit chat some more. So this is Lion of All Trades signing out from the Lion's Den. Take care. Good luck and be safe. Peace out.